Good evening, we are back. Welcome to 102.7 Shop FM. This is the Nerds of the North. DJ Padawan here.
DJ Bodobo.
Okay, so we started off our show today with Beauty of the Dawn by Malukah. This is a YouTube artist who's managed to get herself onto the Elder Scrolls Online soundtrack.
Yeah, that's a pretty amazing feat right there.
Very amazing feat. She had, originally she came out doing a lot of the Dragonborn stuff for Skyrim.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good to hear. And now she's on Elder Scrolls Online. And you know what? If you're on the actual soundtrack for the game, that's a fantastic thing to make it to. And the second song there was Cyndi Lauper's The Goonies Are Good Enough from, of course, the Goonies movie. Hey, we were talking about the sequel last week. It's about time we played the song.
Yes. We haven't played it yet, have we?
No, we haven't played it yet.
Oh, thought so.
Okay, so we're going to start off this week with some movie news. And we actually do have a little bit of some X-Men news for teasing here. Channing Tatum has met with the X-Men producers about the potential for playing Gambit.
I actually wrote this down because I wasn't sure if you got it or not.
It is my favorite X-Men. Of course I am going to write down something about Gambit.
Yeah. I think this is very interesting.
Very, very interesting. He's already working on the accent, and the fact that he's from down south anyways, it should be relatively decent. At least I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
Couldn't do much worse than, was it Taylor Kitsch in The Wolverine?
Yeah.
Wolverine Origins, sorry. That was not Gambit. No. There was no southern drawl to that voice. Next we have, will this series ever die? Die Hard 6 is apparently being thought of right now. And Samuel L. Jackson's character from Die Hard 3 looks to be coming back.
I don't know.
That is going to be so weird.
It is going to be weird. I love Samuel L. Jackson. He's been in almost every single movie I've seen in theaters in the past year.
Yeah, this man's got some fantastic screen presence, and you know what? He might be the only thing making Die Hard 6 worthwhile to watch.
Yeah, but like it's on its 6th movie. Like it's beyond. When was the 5th one? Do you recall? I can't even remember.
I haven't even seen the 4th one.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. But
right?
I don't remember a 5th or 4th.
There's a point where the original trilogy needs to be it, and don't move it into a second trilogy.
Yeah, no.
But who knows? Director David Fincher. You ever heard of this director?
Sounds familiar.
Panic Room?
Okay, yeah.
And regrettably, he was the one who got given the horrendous project of Alien 3.
Okay.
So I definitely recommend, if you haven't looked up as to what went on during the filming of Alien 3, look at it. You'll get an entire new opinion on that movie, because this director went through the ringer to try and get this movie out. Anyways, he was on board for the Steve Jobs biopic.
Okay.
But he has stepped down.
Yeah, I was reading about that.
Said earlier this year that he was targeting this film. Apparently he has left due to contract disputes, which is unfortunate, but he has that new movie, Gone Girl.
Yeah. It's weird. Seems like they're making a lot of movies about Steve Jobs. He was a good, brilliant guy and all, but how many movies do you know?
The only movie about Steve Jobs I was ever interested in watching was actually pretty good, and that was Pirates of Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Because that was an interesting film.
Yeah. There's actually on Netflix right now, I believe there's a few documentaries about Steve Jobs and the old Microsoft and Apple life.
Is. James Cameron has been talking to some people about the Avatar sequels. They are in New Zealand, getting ready in pre-production. In fact, all 3 of the next films are in pre-production, because they're writing the scripts at the same time.
More boost to New Zealand's economy.
Yes, and it's where Weta Digital is, and Avatar used a whole bunch of Weta Digital.
Every 4 years, that country just gets richer.
Well, you know, it's strange. Back when Star Wars first came out, Lucas was the one that set the bar and changed so many things in the industry.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson's Weta Digital is now doing that exact same thing.
Yep.
How many movies have you seen the Weta Digital team working on?
Well, probably quite a few, but then there's probably a few that I haven't even noticed that they were involved in.
There's a ton of people working on that, and this from a company that only started during Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
No, yes, they were doing special effects for some of Peter's other films, but the digital department really kicked in.
When you look at the full size of it, even from Lord of the Rings to Hobbit, like the Hobbit, they go through it all and all the extra like bonus footage, and to see the size and like even the organization of this studio now, it's pretty amazing.
Well, look at when Fellowship first started. Fellowship had 700 shots.
Yeah.
That were digital effects shots. 2 years later, when they were working on Return of the King, almost 1,500 shots.
Yeah, and they have their own building of graphic animators. Like, it's a totally separate building, like, down the street. And it's just, that's where they do all their CG.
Yep.
It's pretty incredible.
It's definitely on my, if I visit there, I must go stop by and see them places.
Yes. That's the thing about
Same if I'm ever in California, I want to try and see the ranch.
Yeah, watching any bonus footage from The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings just makes you want to go to New Zealand.
Oh. Watching the Lord of the Rings movies makes you want to go to New Zealand, okay?
You gotta, when you see some of the set that isn't actually there, it's all CG, you'll be disappointed when you can't find it.
That's true. That's true. But yes, James Cameron is talking about his Avatar sequels. They are all in pre-production, and scripts will be, or should be, finished in the next 6 weeks. He said the hardest thing he's having trouble with right now is cutting things out to get the films down to a reasonable time. Because they could pretty much go and do anything in this new world.
It's going to be like 3-4 hour movies.
No, he doesn't want to do that. There's not enough marketing money in 3-4 hour length movies.
It'd be funny if he was the first one to push a major motion picture to 4 hours. Because
he wouldn't be the first.
Well, I know, but like...
Have you ever seen a Mad World?
No.
It was almost 5 hours, its first cut.
Yes. How old is that movie, though?
70s?
Yeah, so like...
Early 70s?
I'm talking new, within the past like 10, 15 years.
Okay.
But like, because what's the unedited version of Return of the King?
You mean the extended version?
Yes. Yeah.
The extended version is about 4.5 hours.
Yeah, that's pushing it. That's crazy.
Well, home video experience is different from theater experience.
Yeah.
You're willing to, you can pause and then get up and go to the bathroom without having to lose anything. Gerard Butler's back on the headlines here. Set to headline in Dean Delvin's sci-fi thriller Geostorm.
Never heard of it.
Well, he plays a satellite designer who, when the world's climate-controlling satellites...
Okay,
I think we would like those. It would probably end the craziness with winter we're having. But at the same time, with the problem that they're bringing up here, I don't know if I'd want them. Climate-controlling satellites malfunction. He has to work with his estranged brother to save the world from a man-made storm of epic proportions.
Yeah, I think...
Meanwhile, while they're up in space, there's a plot to assassinate the president going on down on the planet side. Really? You couldn't just have the satellites and the storm. You had to have an assassination plot underneath.
That's a little too extreme.
Do you think you couldn't stand on the one topic alone? Come on, Gravity did it. Gravity stood on one topic alone. You didn't need a subplot in there.
While we're up in space, there's global war going on Earth right now.
Really? Okay. Anywho, there's a director out there, Baz Luhrmann. People probably know him from the Romeo and Juliet film, Moulin Rouge, and most recently The Great Gatsby. He's a very stylistic-looking director. Like, when you watch one of his movies, you know it's him. It stands apart from everything else. However, he is in talks right now for a big screen adaptation of the 70s TV series, moving to big screen, Kung Fu. The show that starred David Carradine. So that'll be strange. I don't know who they're going to get to play. I can't remember the character's name. I never watched the original series. I only ever watched The Legend Continues.
Yeah, I can't recall any information about this.
No. Well, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully he gets it, because I'd like to see him do that style of a movie.
Yeah.
Should be interesting. Okay, moving on to some movie releases. We have 3 films that are getting a pre-screenings. This seems to be more and more popular. Remember when you never got a pre-screening and it was like the epic thing when suddenly I can go and see it before?
Then it would always be select and like really select.
It would always be select, and then it would only be at midnight, so it's technically Friday still. But now they're starting them at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, this week we have A Haunted House 2.
Meh.
Disney's Bears, which is a documentary about grizzly bears.
I don't know, man. I'm for nature documentaries.
I am too. It's
seeing it.
Yeah.
It's Disney.
But what makes it Disney? The music, or like, is it narrated?
Disney shelled out the money for it. That's what makes it Disney.
That's the thing. I wanna see. I don't know. I'm gonna do a little research. I might go see it, maybe.
And the new Johnny Depp sci-fi film Transcendence.
Okay. Yes.
Comes out on Thursday, and it is going to be the next AVX film. It's knocked Captain America 2 out of AVX.
Do you think we're gonna go check this one out? I don't know. I haven't.
I might. This film, honestly, it creeps me out.
Is it, what genre does it fall in?
Some serious sci-fi. Like Johnny Depp, he's a computer programmer. He gets some type of illness. His body dies, so they pump his entire memory patterns into the computer system.
Okay.
And then he proceeds to start taking things over. It's just weird. But then Friday we do also have the Trailer Park Boys 3.
Yep.
It's only releasing in Canada.
Really? Okay, yeah.
Only releasing in Canada.
I think that does make sense.
And I know this is one we're going to be seeing on the long weekend.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You're dragging me out. I'm not a fan of the series, but I'll go out and see this. Now, Blu-rays that came out yesterday. Couple of new ones, but a lot of the old ones have gotten some revamps and brought out to Blu-ray. Like Mark Wahlberg's Rockstar. It's now on Blu-ray.
Oh, God.
Hey, I actually bought the soundtrack for that movie,
I
okay?
remember,
it's not that bad of a soundtrack.
I remember watching it when it first came out, and I don't know, it was a little...
It was weird.
It was a little inappropriate for me at that age, I think, but I don't know.
Grow up.
Grow up.
We also had The Nut Job. Was that more appropriate for you?
Sure.
You don't even know what that movie is, do you?
No.
It's like squirrels
that's
planning a heist to get nuts or something.
I figured as well.
It's an animated Pixar movie. I figured it'd be right up your alley.
Yeah.
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty came out yesterday.
Okay.
And one of the strangest Tom Cruise movies I've ever seen, Vanilla Sky, hit Blu-ray yesterday.
Never seen it.
Yeah, don't.
Don't recommend it.
I don't recommend it. I don't.
Okay.
I didn't like this one when I was working at the Gem, and I still don't like it now.
I don't like Tom Cruise to begin with, so...
Well, that pretty much runs the gambit of our movie news today. It looks like it's going to be a little bit more of an entertainment-heavy week this week.
Indeed.
But, since we don't have a lot of movie news, our nostalgic break is going to have movie music. Now, the first song we're going to be playing, it was... Yes, it appeared on the band's album. It is actually a cover of an earlier song from the 70s. But this song first appeared on the Bill and Ted Bogus Journey album. And in the film it had an opening guitar intro by Steve Vai. It is not on this track that we'll be playing. But nevertheless, it is a good song. And the song isn't so much about the movie as it is a dedication to the band's drummer.
Yes.
Because this is, I believe, the last song that this band's drummer participated in before his death. So here we go on 102.7 Chop FM with the Nerds of the North. For our nostalgic break, here is Kiss, God Gave Rock and Roll to You. Ooh, welcome back to 102.7 Chop FM. We are the Nerds of the North, and that was our nostalgic break. So we started it off for you with a song from Bill and Ted Bogus Journey, God Gave Rock and Roll to You 2 from Kiss. Then, our second song there was Lion, the Transformers theme from the Transformers animated film. And finishing off there, keeping the earworm of Let It Go alive, that was Let It Go from Disney's Frozen.
Yes, it cannot be played enough.
And since we're only on once a week, it's fair game that we can play it.
We'll play it every week if we have to.
Maybe not. I think we might have to put in, do you want to build a snowman?
Do you want to build a snowman? Okay.
Or ride our bikes around the yard.
Yeah. Okay, video game news.
Time for video game news, Botobo.
DJ Botobo here. Alright, video game releases for this week. Today, Trials Fusion came out for the 360, the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC.
And a lot of people have not left their couches since it was installed.
Yeah, if you are a fan of leaderboards, fighting your way up the leaderboards in a video game, Trials is the game for you.
You hear that, Romolio?
Romolio, this one, I will challenge you.
Botobo has challenged you, Romolio.
Tomorrow, 2 virtual console games getting released on the Wii U and the 3DS. Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yes.
And F-Zero Maximum Velocity.
Bah.
Both, I believe, retailing for $10 or $15. Don't trust me on that one. And then releasing yesterday, the final piece of DLC for Borderlands 2. A game that came out September 2012, which is still getting DLC support apparently.
Which means it's a good game.
Well, it shows improvement on game studios.
And they're getting ready for Borderlands pre-sequel.
Yes. So anyways, the Borderlands DLC, The Son of Cromarax, is out for the 360, PS3, and the PC. It retails for $3. Very cheap. I believe it just gives you a couple little missions and then a big boss. A massive boss. I would imagine the biggest boss in the game so far.
Well, it would have to be. The game's been out for so long, everybody's got to have max level characters.
You might as well go all out. Like, you might as well just create the biggest thing that's going to take a half an hour to kill.
Yes.
That's about it for video game releases for this week. It's a pretty slow week. A little bit of news here. Sony is selling its shares in Square Enix. Sony has owned about 9.5 million shares for about a decade. And I don't know, I guess Sony and Square Enix, it's not like they're on a rough...
they're not on rough terms with each other, no. It's the contract, I think, came up.
That's the thing,
and they decided not to renew.
Yeah, it's funny because do you remember the good old days where Square Enix was all exclusive and the PlayStation fanboys, this was one of their main fighting points, was they had Final Fantasy.
The biggest shocker was Nintendo putting out some of the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
Now, yes, I understand that Nintendo originally had the Final Fantasy games before PlayStation even came out.
Yeah, but the PlayStation quickly took over.
But once PlayStation took over, it was the fact that the Game Boy Advanced was getting Light of Souls, I believe, or Dawn of Souls?
Yes.
Whatever it was. It was Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on one cartridge.
Yeah. So, I don't know, that's an interesting little thing there. Sony is going to be making roughly an estimated $47 million off of that one transaction. So that's pretty interesting. In more news, Oculus has sold over 85,000 developer kits of the Oculus Rift. Those are pretty good numbers considering they retail for about $300 a piece, I believe, for the developer kit. I don't know. It's looking pretty good for virtual reality. It is the future apparently, and the past.
Yes, but the past, everything was in red and black, and it gave you a splitting headache.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing. I've been waiting for virtual reality to make a comeback. I think this is the right time. After you've seen the movie Gamer, right?
I've seen about half of it.
But you get where I'm going, right? The kid has the room.
I get where you're going.
And it's full 360-degree screen. Something like that. I know somebody has already created for the Oculus Rift a platform which you stand on and you walk on the spot. So you basically have waist support. So you have something holding you by the waist, and you can freely walk on the spot in either direction. So you can change direction, and you can keep walking, and it is controlling your movement in the game. It seems a little far to go just to control your movement. It does make it more realistic, I guess, but having virtual reality headsets on by itself, I find that, and a controller in your hand, I find that to be pretty suitable. Until the technology of, like, I don't know, I couldn't see myself buying a $300 platform that's going to take up like decent space in my room just so I can walk in a video game a little more coolly or whatever, I don't know, realistically.
Really? You bought one so that you could realistically shift?
Yes, but that's a different story. It doesn't take up as much room, man. It fits on my desk.
It doesn't fit on your desk.
Yes.
The pedals are on the floor.
Yes, but it only takes up like a little tiny area.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Moving on. Another peach pink product has been announced by Nintendo. This time it is a Wii Remote. It has been announced for, it's going to be releasing at the end of the month.
Getting ready for Mario Kart 8.
This is matching the Mario Red and the Luigi Green Wiimotes that are already out. The difference being...
I want a Wario Yellow.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll get there.
Or a Waluigi Purple.
They'll get there, man. The difference between this pink controller, one of the main ones that I noticed between the Luigi and the Mario one is the other two have black D-pads, whereas the peach pink has a yellow D-pad, I believe it is, which gives it a little more pop. It looked pretty cool, and then also the side buttons are blue, and the Mario ones, I believe, are... I don't think they're normal black. I don't know. It's different. It's a different color coordination. It looks different. It has a different symbol. The peach symbol in the middle. I don't know. It looks a little different than the Luigi and the Mario ones. Anyways, they retail for $40 at the end of the month. PAX South has been announced. So there's going to be...
Where is PAX South?
San Antonio, Texas.
Yikes.
So there is going to be another PAX event held, I'm guessing, every year. They have only said that this one's going to be taking place in Texas. I don't know if it's going to be moving every year or not. This one's going to be taking place on January 23rd to the 25th. Of course, this joins...
It's a good time to go down south.
It is. It's a good time to go down south. It's kind of a weird place in video game news to go in right after Christmas.
Right after Christmas, yes, but you're going to Angry Joe's backyard.
Yes, I had to go there. This joins PAX East, which is in Boston, and PAX Prime, which is in Seattle. Since 2004, PAX events have doubled in size almost every year.
Tickets sell out fast.
Yes, this is the event to go to.
I would like to get to a PAX.
Yes, I almost went to the Boston a couple of years ago.
What do you think our best bet's going to be, the Boston or the Seattle?
Boston.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not going to try for PAX Prime?
I don't know. It's farther away.
It is farther away, but Seattle's got some other great things around it.
That's the thing. Both have very good locations within the city itself. There's
very good locations.
Considering it's a convention center, there's going to be a lot of placement around that convention center, such as hotels and bars, restaurants, and all that. And all of these, both these cities do a good job of keeping a lot of those around. A lot of the groups, podcast groups, online gaming communities, they all have events. They all try to host an event, whether it be at the PAX itself or whether it's in a bar down the street. I've heard of a lot of good stories from going to some of these events. Mm-hmm. I really want to go to a PAX someday.
I think the Nerds of the North is going to have to make an appearance south of the border.
Yeah, the Nerds of the North are moving south.
Well, traveling south. I'm not moving south.
All right. This news made my day, and I'm sure if you've seen this article, you shook your head.
The fact that Rock Band's coming back?
Yes. News out of PAX East. Harmonix CEO Alex Rigolopoulos says that the studio has grand plans for reviving Rock Band and Dance Central for the new generation.
Don't revive Dance Central and put that effort back into Rock Band.
See, I don't know. I don't have anything against Dance Central. I think it's good competition for any of the other dance games that are out there.
It gets the music that you don't want to see on Rock Band out of Rock Band's lineup.
Yeah,
that's what Dance Central does.
Yeah, I totally give it that. And honestly, I think the Kinect, the new Kinect for Xbox One is probably going to do an even better job for a game like Dance Central.
Now, is this going to be next gens?
Yeah, it says for the next gen, yeah. For the new generations of home consoles.
Lovely.
So...
that means congratulations, all you gaming stores out there. There's going to be another big box of plastic.
No. I don't know if they're going to go that way, man.
You don't know if they're going to have that nice big old kit again?
I don't know. Maybe.
Or, because it's the next gen systems, are they all going to be like Rocksmith? Plug in real instruments.
I could see them doing something like that, but you know the market is going to be very limited.
Very, very limited. Who's going to have a drum kit and 3 guitars to plug in?
That's the whole thing. Like, you're not going to be able to play as a band. Who knows? Even if they are bringing plastic back, it's not necessarily a bad thing. We'll have to see.
No, just now that they know what the faults were with the original plastics, they can beef up the drum kit.
Yeah.
They make cymbals as standard that actually have them work properly.
I actually got lucky. I went through 1 or 2 guitars on Rock Band. I went through 2 or 3 drum kits, and then I finally, when they released the Beatles kit, they got it right on the drum kit.
But they didn't get it right. I understand that it's supposed to look like Paul McCartney's guitar, but that neck is just too long to be comfortable.
With the bass?
Yeah.
It does.
That is like really, really long.
But when you hold a real bass, it is longer than you expect it to be, but it doesn't... when you're holding it, I don't know, it doesn't feel weird. When you're looking at somebody that's holding a bass, you're like, wow, that looks weird. I don't know. I know what you're saying. I get the feeling every time I pick up that bass, but...
because I have Beatles
I know.
kit.
Yeah, so do I. I don't know. Anyways, Harmonix is working. The reason why they're at PAX is they're releasing Fantasia Music Evolved coming up probably later this year.
Seems pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I did hear there was some bad news at PAX.
What?
It was actually announced during PAX that the company CCP has canceled the World of Darkness MMO.
Yeah. Yep.
That is unfortunate. I was really looking forward to this.
Now, when was this announced again?
World of Darkness MMO, I believe it was announced about 2 years ago.
Okay. See, that's a shame.
And it's just, now that it's gone down the way that it won't be returning, it's unfortunate. All of us World of Darkness fans are going to have to console ourselves with the pen and paper versions of the game again.
Sad day, sad day.
Well, the pen and paper versions of the game are pretty good.
Yeah.
It was an interesting concept for a role-playing game in general. Here's the one game. The one game takes place in the overarching World of Darkness.
Yeah.
But there's 6 other games that you can play in the World of Darkness. You could play Vampire, you could play Werewolf, Mage, Demon, Hunter, Changeling, Mummy. There was a lot of variety that you could get in there.
See, the thing about MMOs, especially because with the next gen consoles being out, there's going to be a lot more competition in the MMO world. When you look at the high quality companies that are formed around MMO games, like you have a company like Blizzard, you have a company
Bethesda,
ZeniMax, yeah, any of those companies those are the guys that know what they're doing, and those are the guys you kind of have to kind of compete with to get on their level, especially if your MMO is a monthly subscribed game. You have to give the players what they want, what they expect to get their money every month. I know, like, World of Warcraft goes up and down in numbers, especially recently.
World of Warcraft is pretty much getting on to the verge of going free.
Yeah, well, that's
They're
the thing.
getting close.
That's the thing. Like, it's been. I remember talking when I first started playing World of Warcraft. One of my buddies was like, "Oh, they're probably just gonna start. They're probably gonna announce World of Warcraft 2, and blah blah blah." And that's. It has now been 3 expansions later. So, it's getting about. Yeah, it's getting about that time. It's pretty close. So I don't know. I think Blizzard's gonna have to make a move soon, because Diablo's out. Last or not the last one, but like the newest expansion, and who knows if it's the last or not. There might be one more to come up. Who knows?
I don't know, but this Diablo coming to PS4 is looking pretty nice.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that as well.
You know, that's one of the major. That's actually the game of interest at PAX this year.
Yeah.
The game of interest at PAX that just happened this past weekend was Diablo 3 for the PlayStation 4.
Yep.
Could be Xbox One, don't quote me on that. I'm a PlayStation 4 owner, so I tend not to pay attention to Xbox One. But it looks really, really good. Of all the ravings and everything that the reporters have been going on and on about since it was unveiled.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to this. And I already have it on the PC and the PS3, so
that's the thing. I haven't bought any of the expansions or DLC or anything.
I haven't bought the expansions yet. I'm still running vanilla.
And since I have
Diablo
my character already on my PC, like I haven't even.
Yeah. I
don't want to switch over. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
My own fault for playing hardcore and hardcore only.
There was one other article here that I thought we could kill time talking about here.
What's that?
And I'm sure you've seen this one. Microtransactions are the future. Says Candy Crush developer, and pretty much
any iOS game, any cell phone game, you're gonna be going with microtransactions. It just seems reasonable to do that.
There is a lot of gaming companies now switching over to this kind of logic.
I've played one game that did a lot of microtransactions, and I actually did end up spending more money than I actually thought. I think I ended up spending. It was like about a couple $100 on this game.
Yep.
And the game was a free-to-play MMO.
That's the thing. This is the main formula for these games is it has to be free to play, and you charge small amounts to get
there faster.
To get to the main goal faster, you pay real money. You can beat the game perfectly fine without paying, but it's going to take you longer.
Yep.
So basically, it's funny when I think about it, because when World of Warcraft first came out, you had to work to get to level. What was it? To get your first mount when the game was originally released. Your first mount, I believe, was level 20 or 40. And then they kept lowering it every couple years. And
the lowest I've ever seen it is 20, but that's when I stopped playing.
I think it was 40 originally when the game first came out. I think it was 40 before you got a mount, period. So you had to walk.
I remember you had to work for it just to get gold in World of Warcraft.
So
obtaining your first gold piece in your coin purse was a feat.
And pretty much nowadays in World of Warcraft, you can almost buy your way there. It's almost gotten to that point. And game companies have obviously that's not the main example, but game companies have, whoever started this idea, it is brilliant, and it is kind of sad in a way, but like how easy it is to make good money off these games. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure we will see a lot of MMOs come and go, because with all this competition of MMOs free to play, crowds will be switching all the time to try and find which one is the best, which one can hold my attention the longest, which one's more addicting, whatever the thing may be. People are gonna, like, it's gonna be rough competition for these free MMOs on, especially now that they're on consoles. Like,
yeah, that's gonna be the big thing.
They're on the mainstream consoles and free to play. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting this generation.
Well,
and not to mention that this is one of the things that hurts retail.
Yes.
So I have mixed feelings. I do like convenience and quickness of digital purchasing, but at the same time, I go opposite, and I will
always, if I can, purchase a physical copy of a game.
Yeah.
Because you can't take the physical copy away from me.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, and some people like the service part of it. Some people don't mind going to the video game store, talking to the guys.
Half the fun is waiting in line for the midnight launch.
Yeah, so like
that's half the fun of it.
That's the thing. So like it's sad for me to think about this kind of stuff because I know everything is going to go digital eventually, and I don't know. It's going to be rough to watch some of these places survive.
Well, before we close off, did you check out those trailers?
No, I forgot to tell you I didn't.
Lovely. Well, for those of you out there who are still paying attention to us, they have released the final trailer for X-Men Days of Future Past. This looks interesting. You really see what the story looks to be, and I believe you actually get the first clear look at the Sentinels. So I'm still up in the air.
Yeah?
Yet they're almost the right color, but they have like see-through glass faces. They're not as intimidating as the Sentinels from the comics and cartoon. Mm-hmm. And the other trailer that's out there that's worth mentioning is, in fact, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV trailer spot. It's only a 30-second long clip, but for those of you who have been sitting on the fence about whether or not you were interested in seeing the Ninja Turtles film, I'd recommend watching this 30-second TV spot because it's pushed me over the edge. I do want to see this now. There will be massive nerd rage if I am disappointed, but now I am definitely going to theater to see this.
Plus the comments that you said Megan Fox said that you learned about. I'm sure that's
Megan Fox is... There's been a lot of people apparently chirping her about the fact that she's in the movie, that she's playing April O'Neil, that it was a bad choice for the filmmakers to go this route. And I couldn't find the article, otherwise I would have brought it in to reference it. But she's pretty much flat out challenged that she knows more about the Ninja Turtle universe than all the people who are chirping her.
Yep.
And it was her it was her older sister who got her interested in. And what I'm super happy for is she's already been suggesting a couple of other 80s and 90s shows that need to get remade or need to get brought into movie form. She's mentioned, believe it or not, doing a live-action Gundam Wing.
That'd be wild.
Which would blow my mind, but you know what? Look at how well Pacific Rim did. I can see a Gundam Wing doing good.
It would have to be big budget, but like that
big budget.
That would be awesome.
She's actually also mentioned that she wants to see a Thundercats live action.
It's funny because I'm pretty sure that's gotten mentioned.
Oh, it has gotten some serious mention because there's so many fan trailers out there for it. But that's kind of interesting. And the last one that I saw the last one that I remember she mentioned in the article is doing a Sailor Moon live action movie.
I think that one's too far.
At which point, the reporter she was talking to had posed the question, "What do you think, folks? Anybody care to see Megan Fox as Sailor Mars?"
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Somebody needs...
It all comes down to who they cast to play Meatball Head.
It's... Okay, when you look at the guys who we've been watching for a while trying to make a Dragon Ball Z film.
Oh, okay.
Live. They're trying to make a live action Dragon Ball Z film.
It's actually they're getting pretty close to the fact that it might become a web series. I believe Frieza Saga is moving on course to be a web series.
Okay, but when you look at a show like that, and obviously you're going to need some CG effects.
Yeah, these guys have been using the YouTube head office stage.
Yeah, just because of the nature of the show, you're using energy attacks.
Oh,
but
yeah.
when you look at Sailor Moon,
they still use energy attacks.
They still do, but not as much. It's an easier show to shoot live action.
The entire point of the series is they're trying to get energy.
I know.
Okay.
But a lot of the main, there's a lot more dialogue than battle scenes than Dragon Ball Z.
There's a lot of dialogue, yes, but there's a lot of dialogue of Serena whining that she doesn't have the best pair of shoes, that she's not the prettiest girl, but meanwhile she's talking to her cat.
To shoot a live action version of that, though, I think would be a lot easier and would cost way less.
We'd have to see how the live action Chip and Dale goes.
Oh.
I know, I'm terrified for that as well, but I'd be interested in the Sailor Moon. I really would.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's screaming that I am a nerd at this moment, but I don't care. We are the nerds of the North, and I like anime. I'm proud of it. So, anywho, I believe that's it for us on this fantastic Wednesday evening. So, thank you very much for listening to us here on 102.7 Chop FM. We have been the nerds of the North, and will continue to be as long as we run this little show.
Indeed.
Now, we're going to leave you with a song.
My song.
And we're stepping outside our comfort zone here.
Real music, people.
This is real music. Is it from a movie, though?
Yes, it is.
So it's partly in our comfort zone, but this is a new song, people.
It's a new song out of the movie Divergence.
Yes, it would be Divergence.
Is that just hit theaters?
No, Divergence was in theaters about 2 weeks before Captain America.
Okay. Because it was in the top iTunes albums for soundtracks.
Yeah.
Okay. But yes, anyways, this is Beating Heart from Ellie Goulding.